beside wins, he had written down calm, C-A-L-M for calm wins. Pretty simple, right? Well, I went in, rushed, so excited about my new job, I typed in clam. So that went across the air as clam wins that night, and I was the most embarrassed person that you ever wanted to see in a television station. But that's just to show you that things happen. We're natural, we're people, we're human beings, we make mistakes. Just because we're in television, you're not always perfect. You see people, how many times you've seen reporters and anchors out, you say, God, they look nothing like they look on television. Or you go outside in the studio and say, it's so much smaller than it looks on television. You know, because you're in it, it's imagery. It's what you project and how professional you are. So you learn to laugh about it, and you learn to go on from then on. I had a live shot at Festival of Lights last year, the worst live shot I ever had. I had about 100 kids in the back of me pushing me while I was on the live shot at the Festival of Lights. And I'm like, you know, but you have to maintain your cool, you have to be professional, and you have to get over it. I mean, I was glad it was over, but you have, you know, you learn as you go. So when you're looking around tonight, think about that. Think about the different areas. It's not all reporters. It's not all anchors. I mean, there's so much more behind the scenes. That's fine if you want to be on air. I applaud that. I was on the air, like I said, for about 2 years. That's fine. But I do want to stress there are so many different jobs that are in television, other than just me. Any questions? We've been in this building. This is a new building. I think we have the best station in the market. I pat myself on the back. I think we have the best station between all three of them, meaning 2, 8, and 12. This station was built to be a TV station. A lot of times TV stations move into buildings that aren't built to be a TV station. Before moving here, we were in a hotel, and we had rats that were big enough to run the cameras. And it was basically that we were in a hotel downtown High Point, old hotel, and we moved in this building about 5 years ago. So we're pretty proud of it, and it was built to be a television station. It was built to be a top of the line production facility. And also think about when you think about programming, when you think about television, you normally think about news. We do more than just newscasts here. We do more than just newscasts. We do specials, which I'm involved in. There's the Piedmont Issues, which I've given you guys a brochure, a recent brochure on a show, Piedmont Issues. How many people saw Ted on the show? Nobody? You did?
I tried.
Well, he has a tape. I'm sure he'll let you look at it for $19.95. I'm sure he'll charge you minimal fee to look at it. But Ted was one of my guests on Piedmont Issues, which is a public affairs show, and we take a look at an issue every month, every 2 months, and we do a 30-minute special on it, 30-minute show that I produce with guests coming in, and we do 9 news reports from the news department. So as you can see, there's more than news. There's public affairs programs. We have specials. We have Gospel Expo. We take Gospel Expo here. How many people watch Gospel Expo? That show we've been taping that show here for 20 years. Gospel Expo has been on the air for over 20 years. I was looking at it when I was growing up. So we have auctions. We have telethons. So much more. Car commercials. All types of programming that you might want to get into. And our next Piedmont Issues is on race relations in the Piedmont, so I'm going to talk with Ted maybe later on in the week, maybe next week, about if you guys want to come out and shoot with us out in the field. We're doing some stuff. Feel free to do it and learn that way. So like I said, getting back to my main point here, so when you're behind the scenes, I tell them what to do and what to write and how to say it. So we're doing right now is invaluable. I mean, even if you don't go on the television, learning what goes on behind the scenes, learning how to speak in front of people, learning what goes into putting a show together. It'll help you when you go on that job interview or go for that scholarship or what have you. And the amazing thing about television is that everything happens, what you know, so you spend all week, all day putting something together, and it's over in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You say, go right back and do it again. So we're going to go take a look. We're upstairs in there. This is mainly the business offices, so it's really one thing too. I want to caution: just stay together. We want to stay in a tight group. They're in the process right now of writing the show, 11 o'clock show, and we're going to have some of you in the tape room, okay, doing the show, where the actual tapes, the stories, the news stories are put in the machine and rolled. We're going to have some of you in the studio, okay, looking at show, and then we're going to have some of you in the control room behind the director and behind the audio person. So I'm not going to be in the middle of who gets to sit where. So you sort of figure that out. Before we get up, I have also something for you. Like I said, this is just another example of other things at a television station, is that with our programming, you might want to be involved in local programming. You might want to be a program manager who negotiates getting programming on the air, buying the Oprah Winfrey show, buying the Geraldo show. I mean, that's the television job. Going, you know, I could not stand. Let me name another one. Let me see. I don't like Sweethearts. It comes on really. Well, we're upstairs now, and this is mainly the business offices, so there's really nothing up here. It's pretty boring up here. We're gonna go downstairs, basically what we're and look at what we're doing. One thing too, I want to caution: just stay together. We want to stay in a tight group. They're in the process right now writing the show, the 11 o'clock show, and we're going to have some of you in the tape room. Okay, looking for doing the show where the actual tapes, the stories, the news stories are put in the machine and rolled. I mean, that's the television job. Going, you know, and negotiating how much you're going to pay for Oprah Winfrey, how much, you know, what shows to actual air on television. There are some shows that I wouldn't pay anything for that we air on our station, but that's not my decision. That's the programming decision. And Morton Downey Jr. is gone. Yes, he is off our air now. He's probably off around the country. But Morton Downey was one that I just could not stand. Let me name another one. Let me see. I don't like Sweethearts. That comes on real late at night.
Yeah,
have y'all seen that? It comes on real late.
Yeah.
Comes on real late. We just started airing another one that replaced Morton's called Crime Watch Tonight. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
I sort of like that. I tell you what, I wish we do have another one of our competitors. I love Entertainment Tonight for some reason. This is what we used to have Entertainment Tonight years ago. I like that. I love, of course, I'm in a secret love with Oprah anyway. And Geraldo doesn't do anything for me. These are some posters here that y'all can have. It has a lot of our new programming for this fall. We have a lot of good shows coming on this fall. We really do. Everybody's trying to match NBC's Cosby Show. So we have a couple of really good black programs coming on. I hate to call them black programs, but Homeroom.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we got Homeroom in here somewhere. Roseanne.
This was
She got Homeroom.
I got home on that new one.
Which one?
I don't know. I
think I know which one you're talking about. That's in here too somewhere.
I got home.
Look at that.
What you trying to get?
I can't
Yeah. I want home.
I want that
You
one.
want Family Matters? Let me roll that.
Yeah, I want that one.
Let's do it like
I got I don't know. I think I got Family Matters.
How many Family Matters? How many? You got a Family Matter? You got a Homeroom?
I got Homeroom.
Okay. Who wants something that's not on the table?
Okay, let me have a homeroom.
Do you got one? Which one? You got to say what you got. I got Homeroom.
Conclusion of it,
Okay.
so we can get it back before we come back up.
What is that?
Okay.
Home.
Another Homeroom and what else? You want a Homeroom?
Yeah.
You want a different one though?
What is this? You
What
don't
I'll
want
do is
Family
just bring
Matters?
2 Family Matters.
That's the one who played on,
You look sort of like Theo when he was younger.
you know, that
Yeah.
played on.
Let me
Big Shot
see.
Was you driving the car?
And the other one, the other
Oh,
two.
Big.
They played. They played on different.
Okay,
Perfect
everybody ready?
Strangers.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
I need to know.
At the assignment board, we put up everything we're going to do during the day, and that's decided in the morning meeting. Then we go out and we cover it from there. Okay. Monitors here. Self-explanatory is CNN, WFMY, WGHP. Everybody always asks, why are they black and white? I don't know why they're black and white. They're black and white. But what we do, we like to monitor. You know, usually sing stations that we've seen them run a little crawl at the bottom of the screen. They might know something we don't know, so it's just called keeping in touch with your competition, knowing what's going on. They might break in with special reports on it, and knowing what's going on. We have a two-way system with all the videographers, all the photographers in the cars. If they need to, send them to Alamance Church Road, send them to East Market Street. They've done things, all the photographers, they have card numbers. They're unit 1 through I think 17. So it's like, yeah, they say unit 17. We need you to go to, you know, East Market Street. You need to go to West Market Street. Go to McDonald's. There's been, you know, hepatitis breakout or whatever. So they can communicate. A lot of times too, it's a game because we monitor the other stations. Each reporter is doing stories. We listen to about 5 or 6 scanners, police scanners. Listen to people getting in wrecks and people shooting each other and go outside and what's going on. A lot of times they sit down, sit on that desk and listen for 2 years, listen to police scanners. It sits right there. You just do it like this on a chair so you can hop it. What story they're going to do. Like I said, y'all can start news like the editorial assistant behind the scenes, like on the desk, working. That's why I started. I work for making cop calls on all the police stations, all the county sheriff's department, and all you say is, this is Michelle with WGHP, my name is Paul, and it's pretty quiet. The numbers took it off the list. Well, we had a fire on the Alman's Road, that type of thing. We just make it listen, and we decide from that point where we want to go out. Assignment where we put a very specific on for during the day, and that's deciding what we do. We go out and we cover. Okay. Monitors here, self-explanatory, the 16, WFMY, it's all here. But what we're trying to monitor we have a two-way system. All the photographers, they have card numbers. They're unit 1 through I think 17. So it's like, yeah, they say unit 17. We need you to go to, you know, East Market Street. You need to go to West Market Street. Go to McDonald's. Let's go with, you know, hepatitis breakout or whatever. So they can communicate. A lot of times too, it's a game because other stations can pick up our frequency because we pick up channel 2 on this thing all the time. You know, channel 2 is talking to there. That's on a list called a rundown. So if you go in the studio, and the camera people go in the studio, they know exactly what story, where it follows, where it's just like a plan, it's like a book. So this is the assignment desk. We got this little red, this big red light. It goes off on the back of some wire rooms. We go back there next to a wire room. We have about 5 different wire services. Associated Press, United Press International, with AP, UPI, and their news services that feed us news reports from around the country, around the world, state, national. And if something happens, if President Bush is shot and comes across the wires of urgent, and we don't know if this light will go on. With any urgent, all they have to do is use urgent in their message, and that's a problem sometimes because when I was working, they came up with a new, I think Michael Jackson, let's see, parties had signed Michael Jackson to be the raisin, he's a new raisin or something, the raisin adaptation. And that was big, and then they came across as urgent. You know, Michael Jackson, you know, the light went out, I'm like, oh my God, like somebody got shot or something, you know. But if all they have to do is use urgent when they type in their message on the wire machine, that light goes off. And you can better believe it goes off, goes a lot of times. So a lot of times that is urgent. Sure. So this is the assignment desk. We got this big red light. It goes off on the backs of wire rooms. We go back there next to a wire room. We have about 5 different wire services. Associated Press, United Press International, with AP, UPI, and their news services that feed us news reports from around the country, around the world, state, national. And if something happens, if President Bush is shot and comes across the wires of urgent, we don't know if this light will go on. With any urgent, all they have to do is use urgent in their message, and that's a problem sometimes because when I was working, they came up with a new, I think Michael Jackson, let's see, the parties had signed Michael Jackson to be the raisin, he's a new raisin or something, the raisin adaptation, and that was big to them. They came across as urgent, you know, Michael Jackson, you know, the light went out, I'm like, oh my God, like somebody got shot or something, you know. But if all they have to do is use urgent when they type in their message on the wire machine, that light goes off. And you better believe it goes off. It goes a lot of times. So a lot of times that is very. He's a producer, so he's producing, deciding what shows, what stories go where. And a lot of writing. So you want to be a producer, and a lot of everything. So this is the copy of a rundown. I was saying each story, two pages. So we go from page 10 to 70, but we skip some blocks. But basically, it is school. She's responsible that we want to go on. If it's a fire in Raleigh, or something Raleigh, or something went on, we just another job. And a lot of when you intern in the news department, if you guys ever come in and want to intern in the news department, get used to this room because it will be your friend ripping wire every 15 to 20 minutes. Come back and just rip and paper.
Just camera there, huh?
I'm coming to your next game to say all good.
These ladies are rattled and don't go on and win a state championship. Believe it, if these ladies are rattled and don't go on and win a state championship this year, at least the seniors can say, well, we finished on a high note. Well, for the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, they can begin to think about next year and what could be in future years a great winning tradition. From Rattleman, Steve Cashel, WGHP Mangum.
All these speed tapes record all of these speed tapes. The people that come in just sit on the news tape around the country that we might be using within our. Have you know what it says 6 o'clock?
I'm coming to your next game to say all good.
Well, even if these ladies are rattled and don't go on to win a state championship this year, at least the seniors can say, well, we finished on a high note. Well, for the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, they can begin to think about next year and what could be in future years a great winning tradition. From Rattleman, Steve Cashel, WGHP.
All the important stuff that sits up there and works on the desk. So if you guys, if you ever intern in the news department or anywhere that Larry be here and help you because that's the main job up there on the desk a lot of times. Okay? Thanks, Larry. Ida, Ashley Hall.
Hi.
Character generator. It's actually not a character generator, which you guys used to subscribe, which I love this machine in my life. I love this. Is what I worked for a long time. These are the words that come up. Have you recorded anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Frank, the names that super across. You guys walking around. You gotta talk to Lou. Y'all guys come around here. We'll talk to you. For here. Okay, Louise. Okay. All right. We'll sit here tonight, okay? Videotape?
Right.
VTs are videotape. Those are tape. So that's the audio board, and we have the cart machines there. We have a lot of tab carts behind there, and a reel. So this room, it all works together. And the producer, Becky, the local manager, that's the producer. Producer sits here. I should drop the story. A lot of stuff goes in a newscast, like that list I showed you. Like 3 or 4 stories per one. Make it on there because of the time. But that happens. But you just prepare for that. And the director Richard was in there giving him shots. He sits here, Dr. Trent. Thanks, Doc.
Sure.
So they're used the lighting on the back of somebody. He chooses the set the way he wants to look in the car, depending upon how many people in the group. How many people you have in your group, the trees and the plant. It looks really nice. It comes off really nice. And shoot a lot of commercials against that blue background there. And this site goes around here. You just pull up back. Tiffany Auctions. We just finished. Any questions? Cables, we just pull them across. We have something in here. Like on Friday night, they take Gospel Expo on Saturday. On Friday night when they leave, what they'll do is roll the cameras into the studio for Saturday. They're very big, but once you learn how to hear it, you can go. Here we do everything else under the sun other than the news which we'll see in a little bit, the studio cameras. What we do is we roll with the cameras from each studio. We don't have like 6 cameras, 3 in here all the time. We roll them. The cables, we just pull them across and we have something in here. Like on Friday night, they tape Gospel Expo on Saturday. On Friday night when they leave, what they'll do is roll the cameras into the studio for Saturday. They're very big, very big. But once you learn how to gear it, you can go. Because we have a, you know, it takes a lot of work, but it's fun. But this is what we do a lot of times. I know. And we do car commercials. We roll cars in here too, because the way the door opens in the back and the way this door, we roll cars in here. And we do car commercial, truck commercial, RV commercials. A lot of our commercial production is done in this studio, because the studio next door is strictly for news. That's all we do in there. But here we do everything else under the sun other than the news program.
Camera 1, Neil Tight. Camera 3, Cynthia Key. Tag out, camera 2, Cynthia Tight. 33, camera 1, Neil Key. There's a key cut. 34, tape at the top. Tag out, camera 1, Neil Tight.
11 and 11 graphic in that box, same deal as that. We went in the character generator room, the graphics room. Lou, she pulls up those graphics and they chroma key through the board, which I showed you. He chroma keys those pictures right now. Live shots. You ever seen this? Same thing. If you watch Nightline with Ted Collins, he's like looking at his board, talking to his people. It's just a chroma key for the screen. That's how he's not looking at it. And what they do look at though, why it looks like they're looking at that green board, is they're looking at the television right there. So they're looking really at television. They're looking at themselves on television like they're looking up there. It's a camera. This is our open studio. You know exactly where you can go, where you can't go. And I tell you what, I have been caught so many times that I saw not being right, have this graphic here, this chroma key right now. What you do is they shoot them off. They just shoot them like, if I shoot the camera to you, I'll just move and have you open this part of the camera so we leave enough room for graphic. And when Frank's looking,
Nobel Prize.
everything is tight.
That
See
doesn't
those
affect
scripts
you, just to let you know.
and get your rundown.
no sports
Should have made your
tonight.
copy of a rundown so you can see the stories that run in the show.
Keep an ear on it. If it sounds like it gets any bigger, let me know.
See how I put that 11 and 11 in the middle, 18 in the middle of that box.
Oh, there you go. That's that keyboard. You want to take 2 just in case? This one's set. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
We hit. We have no internet.
See up here down FS1?
Newsroom live
FS1
shot.
up
Can you
here.
hear
That's
me?
what live shots would be. Live shot. Which would have been good, but
I'll just go holler down.
Worldwide, national.
No 61 plus one. Well, our numbers are cut off.
That's another camera that's in that shot.
All I see is 80.
Yeah, you're right.
And 63 over 1, right?
Alright, so weather we're the usual, still 2 to 4.
Once she's on camera at camera 3 at 60, she's not on camera again. It's
Right.
doing a 3 shot.
Right.
These tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow I say put
Y'all cool there?
So maybe shot off.
No, they're in there, but it's all wipes, right?
Page 60. Page 60, big Cynthia Key.
On the soft to leather, when you come in like this,
What you do is they shoot them, they shoot them off
parts
surface,
that
they
are
shoot them like,
open.
I'll just move
When
it
you come
half
out of
over
weather,
this part of the
Cynthia's
camera.
essentially park. Yeah, and you can do that on a 3 shot though, okay? So,
You want that on
it'll
a
just
3
be a
shot?
long
Actually,
toss.
you ever looked in the mirror and you
Include
go
them in.
backwards?
Yeah.
I never had to do weather, I can't
How's the
do
weather
mirrors
gonna
or
be?
something, right? You have to look at that television.
This is going into
That's
the
how
camera
light
one,
No,
you'll
no,
key.
this is on that, on the toss to wake up weather.
2 on the 4 shot.
I just got a little ad lib.
I got you.
Okay?
This fire, get out alive. They were all.
Actually, Allison, I had 2 to lighten up a little bit. I can't touch it.
Cough, that's what you meant when you start rolling.
Lighten it up.
You can't cough, so you can't do that when you start rolling. You should have went out.
on it? When we're in the control room, whoever you guys sit in the control room, he's the director who's going to be sitting behind watching, calling the shots. You know, take camera 1, take camera 2, that type of thing. That's what that's what directors do, basically. Okay, and that's it.
19X games.
On in here, editing a lot of shows, feed tapes. Chris Grantham is our editor, which edits the different pieces and the different stories that are in the show. Very important. And the feeds are, we also, not only with the wire service, but another way we find out about news stories going on across the country, but we have feeds from different services that send us news stories continuously, like right here. They just send us stories and we record them. We record them with each one of these desks. National news, so if it's something we want to use that happened, like last night we used 2 jaguars that were born in San Francisco Zoo. If that comes down on one of our feeds, all these feed tapes, we record all of these feed tapes. These are things that come in, just constant news stories that we take from around the country that we might can use within our newscast. Have you noticed at 6 o'clock is a lot of local stories and at 11 o'clock is a lot of national? That's the way it works. If you look at, next time you look at the television, if you look at the 2 newscasts, 6 o'clock is a lot of local stuff, what happens in our town. 11 o'clock is a lot of national, around the world, around the country, what Bush has done, what this is done. So we're going to move on, guys. You know, if you ever intern in the news department.
I wouldn't know up to that. One minute. You gotta stop zipping for no embrace.
She sure did.
I'm so thrilled. Stand by, coming up on 2.
Hundreds of the Piedmont March draw attention to dangers in the darkness. And even if you don't own a computer, you could become a victim of a devastating virus.
Good evening, everyone. This is Piedmont Tonight. I'm Neil O'Neill.
I'm Cynthia Swin. We begin with an 11-minute look at the night's top news and weather. Now, if you have a bank account or a telephone, then you could become the victim of a virus that's supposed to hit all over the country Friday.
Now, the threat is not to people, but to computers. Now, a computer virus is a change in a computer's program to wipe out its memory and all its inner workings.
Steve Filmer is in our newsroom right now with more on this story. And Steve, first of all, are people taking this story seriously?
And even if you don't own a computer, you could become a victim of a devastating virus.
Good evening, everyone. This is Piedmont Tonight. I'm Neil O'Neill.
I'm Cynthia Swin. We begin with an 11-minute look at the night's top news and weather. Now, if you have a bank account or a telephone, then you could become the victim of a virus that's supposed to hit all over the country Friday.
Now, the threat is not to people.
Stand by, Koppel.
What could it do?
Well, let me use our newsroom as an example. We use this drive, which is like the filing cabinet of the computer system. In other words, my filing drawer where I've got all my data and all my information will then begin.
Sexual assault.
Stand by, boys.
This is one of many Take Back the Night marches across the country. It's the second annual march here on the UNCG campus, where students say 1 in 8 women have been physically or verbally assaulted by someone they know.
Sound.
I don't think it's any worse here than any other campus. The statistic nationwide is 1 in 4 women will be raped on a college campus in their lifetime.
Mike's cues.
These people lit candles, sang, and marched, hoping to make their peers more aware of the dangers that lie out there in the night. Like a lot of
So awareness about crime is what police in Boone are hoping for tonight. Earlier today, friends in...
Nobody says it isn't, but why visit on the second victim the unborn child that is the product of that criminal act, capital punishment.
Problem on the coast so far as tides are concerned, because this will result in strong gravitational forces working to create higher than normal tides. The Proxygian tide. That sounds so impressive, just because of the proximity of the moon to the Earth is why it's given that name. It's happened before. It occurs every few years, so it's not rare. Last time was December 1986.
Address campus, please.
That's good, thank you. Saturday? Sunday.
10 seconds back.
Okay,
Imagine us making a record of all those tapes.
so, no, I can't.
Big task.
Thanks, Steve. Well, around the Piedmont tonight, several hundred people marched to draw attention to rape and sexual assault. This is one of many Take Back the Night marches across the country. It's the second annual march here on the UNCG campus, where students say 1 in 8 women have been physically or verbally assaulted by someone they know.
I don't think it's anywhere here than any other campus. The statistic
These people lit, candles, sang, and marched, hoping to make their peers more aware of the dangers that lie out there in the night. Like a lot of other campuses, UNCG offers escort service, so students don't have to walk alone in the dark.
Well, a better sense of awareness about crime is what police in Boone are hoping for tonight. Earlier today, friends and relatives gathered to remember Jenny Gray, one of 4 women recently attacked. She was raped and strangled.
Yellow dress camera 2, please.
Thank you. Just to stay. Final decision on that rescheduled launch will be made on Saturday. Well, what Janice Sorensen found in her Iowa cornfield could explain why United Airlines Flight 232 crashed. It's the rotor fan.
A few words about those. So many of you have heard about possible problems on the coast. Well, we're entering a period when the sun, the earth, and the moon are aligned. Of course, that happens every month. Otherwise, we couldn't have a full moon. And also, the moon reaches its closest point to the earth for this month on October 14th. That happens every month, but not on the 14th necessarily. So these two things are happening at the same time, and that is what causes the possible problem on the coast so far as tides are concerned. Because this will result in strong gravitational forces working to create higher than normal tides. The Proxygian tide. That sounds so impressive, just because of the proximity of the moon to the earth is why it's given that name. It's happened before. It occurs every few years, so it's not rare. Last time was December 1986. And what the mechanics are, what we expect to happen, high tides will reach their peak on October 14th, but will be above normal several days either side of October 14th. And this tide does not normally cause coastal flooding. However, if a coastal storm or a persistent easterly flow should occur during this time, then severe coastal flooding could occur. So the all-important thing is, what do we look for? We look for good weather. We do have a high pressure out there. It's going to give an easterly flow south of us, say in Florida, southern Georgia, but not here. It's too far south. We just look for fine weather. We don't expect any additional problem. The system is going to move across country. It might drop through here Sunday. It wouldn't amount to anything if it does. Maybe cool us down just a few degrees for a day or two and then back this. He says that kids today are too pampered. He says the elevator in his apartment building broke down. The kids didn't know what to do. They couldn't find the instruction for the stairs. Take a look right down our forecast. What it says for tonight, clear and cool, 40.
33 and 34.
Yes.
Neil now reading 32.
Yes. Have the shot for you in a sec.
Mike.
Continue our Fire Prevention Week edition of Get Out of the Line. I want to show you what their on-duty lives are like outside all the training and firefighting.
Engine 4 and Engine 5. These are the 2 newest trucks we got. Roughly $200,000. Which are going to last 20 to 30 years the way we maintain them and keep up with them.
It's safe to say that a good portion of the firefighting profession is expensive and constantly changing. Millions of taxpayer dollars go into buying the tools, like Greensboro Station 5's 1988 engine. But a lot of what shapes these firefighters' lives at work doesn't involve taxpayer money at all.
Weights, TV.
These firefighters say the money's good, but practically all of them have to moonlight. Outside occupations here at Station 5 range from church work to selling auto parts.
Now, did you have to go out and buy all of this stuff?
Yeah.
What we do in the morning, everybody pays $5 a case. Running the call.
But that call actually turned out to be a false alarm, as you can see how ready they always have to be. Now, what's it like to mix family life into such a demanding profession? I'll show you that tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And tomorrow at 6 in the evening news, I'll show you how to develop an escape plan for your home. That chicken casserole looked good, by the way.
I hope they got back to it at some
I
point.
know, I hope it was still at least warm.
Yeah, really. Also tomorrow morning, we might know the cause of the biggest fire in Swepsonville's history. That investigation tops our check of stories that made news earlier today. Now, this is how the blaze at the old Virginia cotton mill looked as it burned all night last Wednesday. Investigators are already calling that fire suspicious. Investigators will release their findings tomorrow morning. There were no deaths or major injuries in the blaze, but the building was considered a total loss.
Stand by one, key still one, take.
A Winston-Salem school principal's legal troubles aren't over yet. Yesterday, the man in this courtroom, Bill Honeycutt, was acquitted of assault charges. Today, 2 more assault charges were filed against him. It all stems from an incident aboard a school bus at Mineral Springs Elementary School. The kids say Honeycutt lost his temper and hit and pushed them. Tonight, he remains suspended with pay. His next court...
Painful kidney stones, no hospitalization, anesthesia, or long recovery required. The procedure is called lithotripsy, and it's available through the Piedmont Stone Center in Winston-Salem. A lithostar uses low-energy waves to break up the stones into a fine...
Over the phone? Well, the Federal Trade Commission now says that you have the same rights as those who order through the mail. Now, currently, mail-order merchandisers must...
They spend about a third of their lives on edge, waiting to go out on that potentially life-threatening call. They have some of the same desires and frustrations that you and I have.
We were talking, of course, about the hundreds of Piedmont firefighters. Videographer Greg Ryder and I recently spent a day with some of them. And as we continue our Fire Prevention Week edition of Get Out Alive, I want to show you what their on-duty lives are like outside all the training in firefighting.
We all pay for that ourselves, whatever it equates to per man.
Speaking of pay, everyone's paid hourly. The rate is based on incentive and seniority. These firefighters say the money's good. Practically all of them have to moonlight. Outside occupations here at Station 5 range from church work to selling houses. Is responsible for 2 meals, roasting tacos for lunch, and a few hours later during his preparation of this chicken casserole for dinner.
Ready, they always have to be. Now, what's it like to mix family life into such a demanding profession? I'll show you that tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow at 6 in the evening news, I'll show you how to develop an escape plan for that chicken casserole.
I hope they got back to us.
I know, I hope it was still at least warm.
Also tomorrow morning, we might know the cause of the biggest fire in Swepsonville's history. That investigation tops our check of stories that made news earlier today. This is how the blaze of the old Virginia cotton mill looked as it burned all night last Wednesday. Investigators are already calling that fire suspicious. Investigators will release their findings tomorrow morning. There were no deaths or major injuries in the blaze, but the building was considered a total loss.
A Winston-Salem school principal's legal troubles aren't over yet. Yesterday, the man in this courtroom, Bill Honeycutt, was acquitted on an assault charge.
Valvano steps aside Harold Hopfenberg. That's right, the non-household name of Harold Hopfenberg, who comes by way of the NC State School of Engineering, where he's an associate dean, he's the interim athletic director, until Valvano's permanent successor is found. One man who's interested in becoming a candidate for the state athletic director's job is former Citadel, Furman, and East Carolina football coach Art Baker, the man who was also Wolfpack football coach Dick Sheridan's mentor. Baker's got support, but he's far from being a shoo-in for the job. Hey, good college soccer tonight in the viewing area. From Salisbury, UNC Greensboro and Catawba play to a 1-1 tie. That's 90 minutes of 1-1 action, 30 minutes of scoreless overtime. Number 9 right here, UNC Chiefs Jason Houp, the nation's leading scorer. Well, he was shut down tonight for the second game in a row. Talk about being a goalie. Watch the guy, number 1 right there, gets sandwiched. Anthony DeFogio of High Point, he just gets clobbered at the bottom of that pile right there. I think being a goalie is glamorous. It is not. Richard Nyron right here to Michael Waitman for the header and the tie that with 4 minutes left in regulation. And it goes on. Catawba tied it up, and the game ended in a 1-1 tie. 2 other soccer scores. North Carolina shut out Elon 5-0. Wake Forest took Furman 2-1. In NASCAR racing, much of the job jumping around for the 1990 season is complete. Rick Wilson, the guy at the big board, is changing from the number 4 Kodak car to the number 75 Valvoline ride of Raymock Racing. Why the switch? Hey guys, just business. No soundbite, by the way, I'm 46. Just 20 seconds of video. Started out like a flat tire. However, while the new record is flashy, the passing combination of Billy Ray and Clarkson Hines is, as long as these two continue to cook. Duke has got a chance in every ball game remaining. In the 6th day of their training camp, that up at Appalachian State in Boone.
No news. Thank you, Frank. Finally tonight, the part of our newscast that Coach Brenner longs for all time. Our favorite pet of the week. Roll the tape. And earlier today, I had a chance to visit Jake here. He's a 2 to 4-year-old Chesapeake Bay Retriever for adoption now at the Gilbert County Animal Shelter. And folks, this is a lot of dog. One of the strongest I've come across in some time. Put him on a leash, he'll pull you right along, give him a ball, he'll give you quite a workout. And Jake, of course, needs all his shots. And remember, county policy requires all adopted animals to be spayed or neutered. Surgeries including any adoption fee. And if you're interested in taking a look at Jake, you can do so in the morning, beginning at 11:30. The shelter's 4525 West Meadow Avenue.
It's a good thing there was no water nearby. Those dogs love to swim.
Who was taking him for a walk there?
He was taking me.
He was taking you for a walk. You were very obedient. Jake
Ridgeline to bring his dog Trooper out on the set with us.
We're going to bring Trooper as soon as he gets better, because right now he's a puppy. He's getting bigger by the minute. He's very rambunctious, very ill-behaved right now.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, we will bring him out one of these nights, but he's got to calm down. Yeah, he's got to calm down though. I'll wait till he gets bigger. But he's got to calm down.
Okay, you're not making.
I'm not such a serious.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ryan. You're welcome.
Our good friend Mr. McLaughlin back there answer all your questions.
I think the Oakland A's began. So to be honest,
Good tour guide.
you also get people.
Hold on to that.
Yeah, I'm worried about it.
Brian says you can give it to him.
Yeah, well, he's earned his keep tonight. I want to compliment him. Right on top.
I could see, Brian, you've been giving out WGHP pads, too.
Yes, I have.
Well, you know, don't.
And then
don't-
They even got network posters too.
Tomorrow we've got the Soviet delegation coming through.
Russian women coming through.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, you got your mic hooked up? Have you tested?
I mean, you can bring-
Many people, like you guys, I'm being very honest with you, working, going out in the community. I was a reporter for a while. I worked behind the scenes guess I've sort of done everything in the station, a little bit of everything in the station, but the best part is going out and meeting people. We may be located as High Point, but we cover so many different areas, cover so many different counties. We changed our name a couple years ago to WGHP, WGHP, so that, essentially, what you said earlier, what that does is encompasses all the counties, entire Piedmont area, not in High Point, not just in Greensboro, not just in Winston-Salem, Burlington, or any other city. We cover the entire Piedmont. And what we try to do is
Can I start anytime? Okay. Hello, my name is Maisha White. Welcome to Relay. We're here at WGH Piedmont 8 with Cynthia Smoot and Neil McNeil. How are you doing?
Fine, how are you?
How long have you all been in television?
You want to start out since you've been in it the longest?
I've been in television about 12 years. I started out in college, like my third year of college, and I've been in it ever since in some way, shape, or form.
And counting the time that I spent in college, about 7 years now.
Okay. Where did you get your degree in, communications or television?
I got mine sort of in both. It's a degree, it's a Bachelor of Arts degree in radio, television, and motion pictures with sort of an emphasis in what they call broadcast journalism, which is basically radio, TV journalism.
Mine's pretty similar to that. I graduated from James Madison University in Harrisonburg with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication Arts, but my concentration was radio, TV, and film, because you had to choose that time. Now they've broadened those courses out a little bit, but at that time you had to choose, so it was radio, TV, and film.
Yeah, and I was at UNC Chapel Hill.
Okay. What do you enjoy most about working on television?
Helping people. I think that's the underlying mission of what all of us do here. I mean, we perhaps more than just about any other type of occupation can go out and do things that can shape people's lives in a positive way, and that's what we try to do. I think we help them by, you know, informing them of both, you know, good and bad things, and that's how we go about helping them, and it's a very rewarding type of feeling.
Yeah, and I would elaborate on that to say you have an impact on people on a daily basis, but at the same time you're able to do something that if you like news and you like keeping up with current events and things like that, you like being on top of things, you get to fulfill that part of yourself as well as having an impact on the people who watch you. So you actually get two satisfactions out of that.
Okay. What's Channel 8's mission or goal concerning the community environment?
Would you like to address that?
Well, as you probably know, Maisha, we changed our name a couple of years ago to WGH Piedmont, and the reason for that was we wanted people to know, we wanted our viewers to know that we are not just the station for Greensboro or High Point or Winston-Salem, but for the entire Piedmont, which is a lot more counties than just Guilford and Forsyth, where a lot of us live. The idea behind that is we do want to serve all the viewers of that region, and we do feel like we have a real community purpose here in that we want to be the station that makes a difference in people's lives, and that's through a lot of different ways: news, public affairs, different promotional things, and things we do throughout the community to help.
Yeah, there's several parts to our overall mission statement, and I can't remember exactly every single point, but one is being the regional television station. One is being, of course, the weather station. We, of course, have the most experienced meteorologist in the area in television right here in Frank Deal. We also strive to be the interactive station, being the station that really goes out and helps people with their problems. And the major vehicle with that is our Contact 8 concept, which I run, where people can actually call in with their problems, and we try to help them solve those problems. Most of them are consumer related. We do run into some other different types of problems regarding real estate and other things. But being the regional station, the weather station, the interactive station, those are our main goals, and we feel that they all combine to provide a good, positive service to all of our viewers.
Okay, thank you for having this interview.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Okay. We're here with Brian McLaughlin, Manager of Community Involvement. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Maisha. How are you?
Fine. I'd like to ask you a few questions. Okay. How long have you been in television?
For about 8 years. I got an early start, but like you guys. starting in high school with internships at the Weaver Education Center in Greensboro, and just started from there.
What degree what did you get your degree in, communications or television?
Okay. At Chapel Hill, University of North Carolina Chapel Hill has a program at their Radio and Television Institute. So it's in radio, television, and motion pictures. I went through that program, basically.
Okay. What do you enjoy the most about your job on television?
Meeting people like you guys. I'm being very honest with you, working, going out in the community. I was a reporter for a while. I worked behind the scenes for a while. I guess I've sort of done everything in the station, a little bit of everything in the station, but the best part is going out and meeting people and helping people like you and helping groups that realize what television can do, and just basically helping people, not to sound corny at all, but letting people know that we're people just like everybody else. The Cynthia Smoots, the Neil McNeils, the Rich Brenners, they're people just like everybody else. They're just doing a job that they're helping people.
Okay. What are Channel 8's missions or goals concerning the community environment?
We are really, I would say, the regional station in this market. And by regional, Maisha, what I mean is that we may be located in High Point, but we cover so many different areas. We cover so many different counties. And we changed our name a couple of years ago to WGH Piedmont from WGHP. So that, what Cynthia alluded to earlier, what that does is encompasses all the counties, the entire Piedmont area. We're not in High Point. We're not just in Greensboro. We're not just in Winston-Salem, Burlington, or any other city. We cover the entire Piedmont. And what we try to do is our general manager, Dave Boylan, he always says, this is not our TV station, it's your TV station. I mean, you turn it on, you turn it off. You know what you want to see, you know what you don't want to see. So our goal as far as the community is involved is to get the community involved with the station, let them know that, if you don't like something Geraldo said this morning, give us a call. Let us know. We want you to be a part of the TV station. It's your TV station. The airways belong to everybody.
Okay. What type of community involvements does Channel 8 support?
We, a lot of things. I can't list them all. Just for an example, the Brenner Children's Hospital, hospital for ill children in Winston-Salem. Relay, the group that you're with. We support the Triad Symphony auctions. We have an auction every year in the big studio you saw earlier. We auction off things for money. GYC, Greensboro Youth Council. The list goes on and on. And if anyone is interested in Channel 8, say like a public service announcement, then just give me a call at the station, or give the station a call, and they'll end up probably talking to me about it.
Okay. Does Channel 8 plan to work with Relay in any capacity?
Yes, we do. Right now we're working with Relay, and I think you guys did a real good job tonight, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. To me, see, I have, I guess, a special mission here, I think, with Relay, is that I was young when I started in television. I was 16. And from there on, I went to internships. I got my first job at another television station in this market, which I won't call their names. And it just sort of evolved. It grew from that. So with Relay, I see possible internships of working in the future. I'm sure we'll work together again in the future and come back and even go out with some of the news crews and see exactly what they're doing. Let you be actually with the reporter on the scene, putting a story together yourself out there. So sure we will.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
He wasn't right there, he was just right here. That's okay.
Maisha, you did a good job. Everybody did a good job.
This made out of God.
And we are the next pretty good crew, and hopefully we'll still be able to get y'all to come over.
Yeah.
Mike, he has why this thing in there.
Giving y'all coke and
Patrick.
have my coke.
And Mr. McLaughlin gets in at 12 and he wants to go to bed.
Listen up, listen up. Devastating, simply devastating.
donated or let us use the facility free, but they did not. And I was thinking myself that we would be able to get one of these dollar arrangements like you read about in the paper. And however they do that, if anybody knows how they do that, let me know. Because we have not, believe me, we have not been there on a dollar deal. In fact, and I'm not complaining because we, you know, it has served our purpose, but with very limited funding, we have gotten 40,000, and you know, I'll be honest with you about it. We got 40,000 the first year from Z. Smith Reynolds. We got 25,000 from the next year. For the Port Borough, we ended up all those years with a combined total of 15,000, and that's some total somewhere like $85,000 for 3 years of this program. We've spent 40,000 in equipment. You know, in equipment. And if you were asking us how did we survive, because you don't have a whole lot out there for me to, and I hope y'all don't attend a lot more speeches because you'll have to see the same suit again. You know. So what I'm saying is Mrs. Wright retired, she lives on her paycheck, her retirement check. She has worked with us for 2 years and has never drawn any money from Relay. I've done pretty much what is necessary to keep the program going. Presently, I haven't even been paid since January. So we do what's necessary to keep the program going. We don't worry about pretty much money other than to pay the rent and to pay this, that, and keep going with the program. But we do lease it from the school, and the rate is about $600 a month.
So how long will your program run full day in the summer? Or
That's what I hope this group will decide for me. I have been bombarded by parents, and I have a drawer full of applications. Parents that want their kids in the program. But I'm hoping to, if I can get some volunteers or some people that will work with us until we get some funding to open it. I had a whole list of people from Conacher, employees that wanted to be able to bring their kids by in the morning and have them participate in some of these programs in the evening. But I'm in need of, I think Ms. Wright is after 2 years going to take a leave of absence, you know, to just get her bearings back or just to cool out this summer. I know she has some trips planned out of town. And for us to operate during the summer, we obviously are going to need some volunteers or some more people that's willing to step in and say, yes, I'll work with the program on whatever time restraints that we have. So I was hoping, that's one of the reasons I was eager. I had another engagement tonight that would have paid me to come speak. And I said, no, I'm going with Yolanda because first of all, you had to ask me first in the other program. But this other guy got desperate, and at the end he came back and started offering me money. I'm not that cheap. But I decided that I needed to come here because we need 2 things, really. We need money, and we need some volunteers. We need some help from some folks who will commit to some time to do some of the things that you've seen tonight and that we're carrying on here in Greensboro. I have had requests from, I had a young lady, Dr. Dion Jones, who works with the National Urban League in D.C. She came down, she looked at what we were doing, and she said, I will kill for this program in Washington. She said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will work with you on a proposal if you will promise me we can have a chapter in Washington, in D.C. I said, well, I'll give you this commitment. If you help me with that proposal, you can get a chapter in D.C. if you find somebody to run it. I'm not coming to D.C. You know, I have no desire to be political or politician or anything of that nature. If you get somebody in D.C. to run it, we'll help you put the program there. I've had requests from Raleigh, from Durham, from Charlotte, from Wilmington, North Carolina, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Baltimore, Alexandria, Virginia, and these are places where people are saying that they got enough people in the community to do it. My position is until we do it correctly here in Greensboro, get it structured right, and stand on its own, there's no need of going all them other places. There's no need of even entertaining that idea. So the other communities are well aware, there are other communities that are well aware of the value of what we're trying to do here. And I'm hoping that Greensboro in some way becomes more receptive and more supportive of what we're trying to do. So we will hopefully be able to run this summer during the day. And that was one of the reasons, again, when I was offered another speaking engagement. In fact, the guy said, well, how long you gonna be over there? Because I can hold them till you get over here. I said, nah, let them go, because I'm gonna take whatever time is necessary to let them know about this program, because hopefully I can get a couple of volunteers out of there to work with us during the summer. Let's see what we got here. We got a few more slides, but this is pretty much in summary. This is an interesting story. You know, this little girl was so happy to get her first book, she made her mother late for work. She made her sit down and read that book to her before she would leave the daycare center. And her mother, you can tell mother's not really enthused about her getting her first book to read, really, because she's looking at her watch wondering when can she go to work. And the child saying, you got, Mom, I got a book, you got to read it to me. Well, that's another thing. The school bus drops about 3 or 4 of them off that comes from General Green. I take that little Mazda that I have out there, and I make 6 stops every day to pick up 10 kids, and I bring them over there. Mrs. Wright uses her personal vehicle to get some kids over there. Some of the parents, some of the grandparents bring their kids over there. So we use by any means necessary, again, to get them there.
Was it just because the General Green bus comes in that
Just because
area?
it comes in that area.
It's not a special trip.
I tried to get the school system to do that, but they wouldn't do that. Okay.
What about children that are staying in the schools? Like, I mean, serving them at fast, and I really got a lot of them staying in the academia. So people supervising for doing their homework and all that. Wondering, is that connected with you or?
No, that's not connected with me. I think they have some after-school program. Most of them run through the Y, the YMCA, the YWCA, what have you. And I really have asked the board to sort of use Relay in the same vein, because that's what we do with the kids. But not only that, after they finish their homework and what have you, if they are interested in one of these areas, 35mm photography and picture development, which we're going to merge with desktop publishing, and the kids going to be able to do their own monthly magazine once we get the computers just to that level. We're just training them on computers now. For one of these other areas, the video production or the 35mm video production on computers. And so we're trying to, hopefully, they will be able to work with us. Joe, you can hit the lights on you. Get them back on. So, I don't know, and maybe some of you have stronger connections than I do that can vouch for Relay, or if you need any additional information. Mr. Stout, if you pass out the brochure, yes, pass mine. Yeah, Mr. Hamel. If you need any additional information, even beyond tonight and beyond the information that we're going to hand to you, just give me a call. And if I'm over there at the school, because again, from 2 o'clock to 4:30 every day, I'm out doing taxi service, but I'm usually over there till about 9 or 10 at night anyway. So even when you get out of school, I'm usually available. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me and for inviting me in the first place. And I seriously hope you will consider working with us, doing some volunteer work, or any other way. If you got another group that you'd like for me to come do a presentation to, just tell me what I cannot say, and I'll be glad to show up and work within those guidelines. Thank you.
I certainly thank you for coming and sharing with us. It's a real treat to go to. I hope you all get a chance to go to this test turn up one afternoon and go look at the facilities and all of the things that are built. I hope that I will be able to help you this summer. I'm going to be in school, but I'm going to try my best to get over there. At this time, we're going to have our awards presentation. make the headlines if I closed my school because parents were not supportive and didn't do the things that I thought that they should do. And we do tend to blame parents in education. And it's hard, I know, for us to accept the fact that some parents, especially single parents in the home that are raising children on their own, maintaining 2 jobs, and I have to bite my tongue, and when they say, now Mrs. Johnson, I just don't have time to listen to my child read, and I don't have time to help him with his homework or her with her homework. So I think you have a wonderful program, but here again, we do tend to blame, but we do try to come up with a solution to the problem, and our solution to the problem is a volunteer program, because the only way that we can ensure that those children who do not have someone at home who can work with them one-on-one, or who can listen to them read or call out math facts or whatever, then we have to find someone to come into the school and do those types of things and sort of play mom or dad to that particular child. This becomes a very important person to that individual child because it makes that child feel very special. And we have a volunteer at Sedalia Elementary that gives hours after hours after hours of time volunteering. She works with children, she helps teachers out, she plans school events, and this lady is so great that she has been back there walking the floor with a kidney stone attack for about the last 30 minutes, and she finally had to give it up and leave. So she's not here to hear all the wonderful things that I would like to say about Pat Newsom. I was sitting right over here earlier, and like I say, that just shows you how dedicated she is. The lady, just truly hated to leave, and so she didn't have much of a choice because she was in a lot of pain, and walking the floor was not helping. So, as you can well imagine, I think all of us, when we don't feel well, we want to make sure that we're in our own surroundings and suffering in privacy. But I cannot say enough wonderful things about Pat Newsom. In Guilford County last February, we began recognizing volunteers, and of course, when we got ready to decide who to nominate at Sedalia, there was no discussion whatsoever. Everyone said Pat Newsom. And one of the questions was, how many hours has the person given? Well, folks, you know how sometimes we really do take things for granted, and we don't realize how much time people give until you start looking at the books. Well, I was just amazed when I went back to count, and in 1 month's time, she had given 60 and a half hours. And, and like I said, I was just appalled because I didn't know how much to appreciate her. And like I said, when you see someone there all the time, you just sort of take them as part of the stand. So, like I said, we were just delighted that she was one of the first volunteers that was recognized by Guilford County Schools last year when they started the volunteer program. We were also, like I say, very amazed to find out just exactly how much time that she had given, and we try real hard not to take Pat for granted now because, like I say, the rude awakening of counting the hours brought us all into an awareness state that she really does give many, many hours and gets so involved in all the activities that go on in our school. And of course, we are members of ACEI because we care about children. We're children, our advocates for children. And that was one of the reasons that I nominated Pat Newsom for this award as a volunteer, because she really is a person who college children, cares for children, and wants to do all she can to make up for that mom or dad who maybe does not have the time or feels they do not have the time to do the things that we would like for them to do with children. Thank you.
Thank you so much. They do have plaques, and Ruth had all of that stuff, so I will be getting that. The recipient of our professional award is Dr. Doris Henderson, and standing in for her tonight is Mrs. Davis. And Mrs. Davis, would you come up here, please? She's our assistant principal at Guilford Primary, and of course that is my school also. Doris, we call her Doris. Doris does so much, I don't even know where to begin. And that's the truth. This is all the information about her. There's so much stuff. She was a secretary manager, a secretary of the clerk of Superior Court, principal at Brightwood. And when I met her, she was at my school at Sumner as a teacher with this red carpet that was just gorgeous. And everybody wanted it. She had carpeted her room, and everybody was just dying to get to their room. You remember that? Yeah, you all remember that. It was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So that's when I met her. Then she was principal at Oak Ridge and principal at Guilford Primary, where she is now. And she belongs to all these organizations, the IRA, Association for Supervision and Curriculum, Association of Childhood Education International, North Carolina Association of School Administrators, North Carolina Association of Educators, National Educational Association, National Association of Elementary School Principals, Phi Delta Kappa, Alpha Delta Kappa, and the Greensboro Artist League. That's a lot. She does a lot of things, a whole lot of things. She's very busy. Other than what's written here, she is just a ball of energy. She knows every child by name, and she always has ever since she came to our school. She stands out in the school in the morning, and she greets the buses. And I'm going to let Marilyn tell you some more things that she does. I don't know everything that she does. Maybe you can add. Maybe you can add. Oh, we are among friends. What else does Doris do?
Just look at everything. Let's tell them about that Altrusa Award that she got the other night. She received the Altrusa Community Arts Award from the Altrusa Club. She was reappointed to State Textbook Commission by the governor for this year for another 4-year term. She was appointed to a statewide kindergarten task force by the state superintendent of instruction. She's down there now, that's why she's not here to that meeting there. She was nominated for the State Woman of Distinction Award by the Alpha Delta Kappa, Gamma Epsilon Chapter 1988. She just received so many awards, and Doris goes at everything she does 100%, 110% really, because she works 7 days a week at school.
She really does. When she tells you that, she works on Saturday. I know there is something. I will give her awards to you. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we will have our induction of officers, and this lady was so kind because I love her to death. She's going to induct the officers, so you want to call her name?
All right. President Yolanda Mosley. Vice President for Infancy and Early Childhood, Nancy Kerr. Vice President Early Adolescence, Adeline Thomas. And Vice President of Later Childhood, Peggy Johnson. And the Treasury Secretary, Ruth Plum. The duties of the president are to preside at all regular and call meetings of the Guilford County ACEI branch, to call and preside at all meetings of the executive board of the Guilford County ACEI branch, to appoint with approval of the executive board all committee chairmen and building representatives, to serve as an ex officio member to each standing committee, and to attend all meetings of the state ACEI executive board. Do you agree to perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I do.
Vice President for Infancy and Early Childhood. The duties of the Vice President for Infancy and Early Childhood are to serve on the program committee, to assist the president whenever called upon, to encourage membership of teachers in your area of education in the Guilford County ACEI branch. Do you agree to perform these duties to the best of your ability? The Vice President for Early Childhood. The duties of the Vice President for Early Childhood. That's not you? All right, well, adolescents, I'm sorry. It is early adolescents, all right, excuse me. Vice President for Early Adolescents. The duties of the Vice President for Early Adolescents are to serve on the program committee, to assist the president whenever called upon, to encourage membership of teachers in your area of education in the Guilford County ACEI branch. Do you agree to perform these duties to the best of your ability? Now, Vice President for Later Childhood. The duties of the Vice President for Later Childhood are to serve on the program committee, to assist the president whenever called upon, to encourage membership of teachers in your area of education in the Guilford County ACEI branch. Do you agree to perform these duties to the best of your ability? Now then, I had not pulled these from Ruth. I'm sorry, let me just get this straight. This is Secretary Treasurer. As Secretary, your responsibilities are to keep accurate records of all the proceedings of the meetings of the Guilford County ACEI branch, to keep on file a copy of the Constitution of the Guilford County ACEI branch, to execute all necessary correspondence for the Guilford County ACEI branch. As Treasurer, your responsibilities are to receive and disperse all funds of the Guilford County branch of ACEI with the approval of the Executive Board of the Guilford County ACEI branch, to keep accurate records of all funds, to send the state ACEI membership dues. I really said that. To send the state ACEI membership dues of the Guilford County ACEI branch to the state ACEI treasurer, to send the international membership dues of the Guilford County branch members to ACEI headquarters as soon as they are collected. Do you agree to perform these duties to the best of your ability? Upon your shoulders are laid the responsibilities and obligations of the officers of the Guilford County ACEI branch. The members are confident of your abilities, your integrity, and your willingness to serve. I'm sure they join me in pledging to you their cooperation. May I wish you Godspeed in your new endeavors. And I want to thank those who are continuing in office and those that are going out of office for their loyal support of ACEI.
Thank you so much. At this time, I'd like to recognize the fact that we have our state president with us, Dr. Gladys Booth, Ramsey State University. Would you stand? Thank you for coming. We also have the incoming and outgoing president of Greensboro Branch. Lucy Leary is the outgoing president. Lucy, would you stand up? board, the big board, as I call it, big top board. And that's Frances Shaw. She was, Frances, there, this is Frances Shaw. And it's nice to have all of you with us, it really is. At this time, we're going to have a report from Admin on our conference.
It was, the theme was teaching starts in the heart, and I know every one of us here believe that. The days that we go and it's not in our heart are miserable days, aren't they? The great thing about ACEI, whether it's here, locally with our folks, or at a state meeting, or the international meeting as we work, we know we're among people who have teaching in their heart. And I always return to school with a new outlook, refreshed spirit, and just glad that I'm who I am and what I am, and especially that I have the privilege of associating with you folks. I know we've all really been touched tonight about Ruth. She was with us in Indianapolis, and we had a glorious time together. Nobody would have dreamed that something like this would have knocked her down today. Always on the go, ready for the next program, whatever it was. And one of the things that she was doing the whole time we were out there that speaks of her heart and of teachers too in many different ways. Ruth is a member of Christian Scientist faith. And from the first day we were there, she was looking for their reading room. And we went out on a couple of tours, and she was trying to spot the reading room before she found it in the directory. And one morning, she got up real early and just disappeared. And we kept asking each other, where's Ruth? You know, has anybody seen Ruth? And finally, she showed up at the author's luncheon, and she had been to the reading room. Since she has retired from teaching, that's one of her big volunteer things, working at the reading room here in Greensboro. Many of us are like that in whatever it is that our particular interest is, because we do have teaching in the heart, whatever age it is that we're interested working with. This conference, as you should have seen if you've looked at any of our stuff tonight, was in Indianapolis, Indiana. And also in looking at the pictures, you should know that the conferees from the Guilford County branch were Yolanda and Ruth and Alma Crumby and I. From Greensboro, four of the folks are here tonight that went, and you had one other one, your daughter is there. We were together at all events. If we were to be seated at a table, we saved spaces for each other. And we were just one big united bunch. Several of you have attended international conferences, and state conferences are kind of patterned after in a smaller way. But there are 3 general sessions. At the opening general session, we took with us our own Dr. William Perky. Not on our plane. Was he on your plane?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't on my plane.
But we were there to greet him at that opening session and told him that we were his cheerleaders there to get him through the program. It was a real pleasure, and we were very proud for people to know that we were from Greensboro, as was Dr. Perky, and that we had known him for some time. If you have heard him speak in the last 10 years or what, you know about the blue cards and the orange cards, but he always adapts that message to whomever he's speaking to. And it was as delightful as I've ever heard him do. He especially made a lot of funny remarks about his plane flight out and his fear of flying. Yolanda's husband had gone out with her, and Floyd was scared to death of flying. And so we enjoyed for Floyd the things that Dr. Furkey was having to say about flying. And some of you might remember some of those funnies. I don't tell jokes well, so I'm not going to try to tell any of the things that he did tell us about. At that session, one of the things that really touched our hearts was a soloist from the music department of Indiana University, whose name is Roy Samuelson. He sings the national anthem for the games at Indiana University. And so you've probably heard his voice sometimes on television when they would be playing. A very stirring experience for us. I think when it comes to the national anthem, anything patriotic, it doesn't take very much to stir up teachers, but we certainly were especially touched by his leading us in that song. And when we were asked to sing with him, I said I'd rather listen to him than to sing with him. It is just beautiful. We had Vito Peroni. This man I didn't know, and I'm not sure about anything he said. Maybe some of you are. He spoke very softly, and it was difficult to hear what he was saying. And so I wasn't quite sure of what his message to us was. That day, part of the program was a boys' choir from Christ Church Cathedral, which was close by. And they were beautiful in their young voices in entertaining us. As I go along, if anybody wants to add something personal in this, please feel free to do so, those of you that were there and saw and heard. At the closing general session, June Scobie, who is the wife of Dick Scobie, the Challenger astronaut who was killed in that disaster, she is directing a program for children. I believe that they have institutions established in Maryland and in Texas. Is that right? I think there were two of them. Of a science nature that is something to inspire and lead young people into the space program. The Singing Hoosiers of Indiana University entertained us at that closing session. We were taken back to the music that some of us enjoyed earlier than the music you enjoyed. And we wanted to sing along, but we never were invited to sing along, were we? But we did get into some hand clapping and going with them in that. We really enjoyed that part of the program. Some of the enrichment activities that we were involved in. The Night on the Town was at a place called Beef and Boards Dinner Theater, and we saw the production of Showboat. I had not seen it other than in the movie, and I really enjoyed the way that they handled this production. On Friday morning, there was a museum tour of the Indiana State Museum, Life of History, and then at the Museum of Art in Indianapolis. There are some pictures of those. We were especially intrigued by the lifelike scenes of prehistoric animals as well as some of today's animals that they showed there in the museum. At the Museum of Art, we were not to take pictures. I think Alma got one. Anytime that I heard anybody say on any tour to somebody, no picture taken, I thought, uh-oh, Alma's done it again.
I did at the show. I have to explain this. I was sitting there just taking pictures of those actors and actresses on stage, and they were so good. And this tall, handsome man in a tuxedo came walking over, and I thought, what is he going to say? And he said, "Madam, we do not take photographs in here. If you have one that doesn't have a flashing I was so embarrassed, and I said, of course. But in the Museum of Art, I had my camera in my hand, and I had the museum director to follow me all over. She was sure I was going to.
Somebody did take one. Alma declared she did not do it, but she must have taken it out of her set of pictures. I didn't see it. The author's luncheon was delightful. Somebody asked me about, well, what goes on there. Do you know the author? And I said, sometimes it's somebody I've heard of or read their stuff, and sometimes I haven't. But I've never been to one that I didn't thoroughly enjoy. Alfred Sloat, I did not know the name, but he really entertained us. And I bought one of his books and I read it on the way back home. It was the Rabbit Ears book. And the one that they gave in the program is the one that he is best known for is Jake. And it was done in an after-school TV special called Ragtag Champ. So some of you may have been familiar with that. A trip that I did not take because before I went, I remembered my doctor's advice several years ago when I was going on a trip that he said, you need to look at it. Now, what things can I leave off today? And so before I left home, I had decided that the one thing that I would have to leave off of the extra tours was the trip to the Children's Museum. And I know I was wise to do that, but every time Yolanda talked about it, I thought I should have gone.
Let me tell them some of the things. It was great. It really was. There was a great big water tower clock. It was a water clock in the lobby. There was a carousel that we rode on up on the 5th floor, I think. That's the first thing I did. There was the largest train collection I have ever seen. They must have had every train that was ever made. They were everywhere. Dolls everywhere. There were mummies. And this is a hands-on museum, so the children are curators. The children run the museum. And they become the excavators, and they had the archaeological digs that the children could do. It was great. They had museum windows, and they had all these things in the window. Vietnam vet window was just, it looked like the regular teenagers' room. And the questions were on the window. Now, where should this have gone? And what questions would you ask this person if you could talk to them? These kind of things. The information on tombstones that you never would think that you would educate children about. There's a lot of information. They have recreated streets as in, if you go to Universal Studios and you see the different kind of houses that they take pictures of, they have recreated these streets. They had large elephants. They had monitors that showed where these children lived in these different countries, and you could press the screen, and the children were telling the story about what kind of food they ate. You could press the button to find out what their chores were. It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed, and they had, I have to tell you this, they had a center that really focused on bats. Sarah, did you see that? It was like a classroom. They had how to make bat houses. Someone had made bat capes for these children, and they could put these bat capes on and know what it was like to be a bat. They had everything that you can imagine. Some of the pictures in the scrapbook about bats, you would never do. They had giant cockroaches I had never ever seen. I'm serious. Look, they were huge. Other than in movies, and they've blown them up. These were real, honest. They had snapping turtles. There were 5 floors of things that you could see. It was we thoroughly enjoyed that.
See what I mean? You can just go on and on and on if you push your button. If you haven't looked at the pictures, do. I know some of you have your own pictures, but it's good to see what did other people get while that was going on. Yolanda's got a scrapbook up here. Floyd carried the camera the whole time, and so he got a really good group of pictures there. Plus, she found some good picture cards to buy. There are always wonderful workshops planned at these conferences. And I knew when I went that there was only one time, maybe 2 times, that I could possibly go to a workshop because I was serving on a committee that was scheduled to meet during workshop times. And the only workshop that I did get in, Patsy was sick. Patsy was sipping water or something and taking her headache pills. And she couldn't participate. But I dropped an egg 3 feet, 1 yard down twice. And the egg had already been dropped once or twice by somebody else. And that egg didn't break. And we had done some problem solving ahead of time to figure out how to do that. And even for someone my age, that's a thrill to think, we figured it out. And it was the 4th time that day that the egg was dropped, and it still didn't break. And when I got back to the room and I told these other folks about it, they were amazed too.
You did tell them it was plastic.
No, it was real. It was real. But she had a whole box of eggs, a dozen, in case we needed them. That was kind of frightening to start with. I could just picture me everywhere I dropped it was crushed. The committee meeting that I was in, this was only the 2nd time that I got to serve in this capacity. So when we were in San Antonio, in what year? 1985? Is that the year? Yeah. I was asked to serve on the International Nominating Committee. And the first time would be at our Greensboro meeting in '86. So I served on it then and enjoyed it very much. And then the 2 years after that, I was supposed to have gone. And both years, at the time for the conference, I was sick and could not go. For some reason, they didn't stop my term when it was completed in filling out somebody else's term. I was re-elected for 2 or 3 more years. And so I got to serve this year in Indianapolis, and I'll still be on the committee next year when we meet in Pittsburgh. The slate of candidates for office I wanted to share with you tonight. You'll be getting your information in our journal and newsletters when the appropriate time comes. But since there are 2 of us here who served on that committee, I think it's okay that we share this with you. There are 2 men running for president-elect, and those of you who have been to any of the international conventions probably are familiar with both of them. Glenn Dixon, who is from Vancouver, and Chuck Godwin, Charles Godwin, but Chuck's what he usually goes by, from Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm really proud of our 2 candidates for president-elect. Early childhood, the vice president for early childhood, we have Stevie Hoffman, this is a woman, from Columbia, Missouri, and Carol Snelson from Little Rock, Arkansas. Candidates for secretary-treasurer are Vera Spencer from Wichita, Kansas, and Rita Swedlow, and I don't know where Rita's from. Do you know Francis?
New York, and she is a co-worker with Dr. Lucille Lindbergh.
Now this, the member at large of the Eastern section, this is open. And Francis and I had talked before time for all the nominations to be in about who we would have from this area that we could get to run for member at large, and we decided on Ruth. And Francis called Ruth and got her okay on it, and so she sent in her nomination, and she is a candidate for member at large. My hope is that she recovers and is able to go through with this. The other person is Ellen Gruber, who is from Atlanta, Georgia. And then there are 2 student representative candidates, and we had one, hopefully, from A&T, but that one didn't pan out. because the person needs to be a full-time student, and this person was graduating this year and wasn't certain about the extent of graduate school. But we do have Cheryl Pratt from Murray State University. I don't know where home is. And Caprice Woodburn from Fort Myers, Florida. It really is a pleasure to serve on a committee like this. And at the conference, everybody was given the opportunity to sign up for a committee that they might like to serve on. There are lots of committees. And some of them are such that they only meet at the conference. It's not something that you have to go someplace for a special meeting. And the nominating committee just meets at the conference. And so most people can manage to do that at least 1 out of 3 years. So that has been a pleasure to do that. And I thank you for the privilege of being able to attend this meeting and told them I was going anyway, whether the branch decided to send me or not. I was going, but it was mighty nice to have your support, and thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd like to give some special thanks. First of all, these programs were done by Betty Ingles' first grade class. So let's give her a big hand. They really did a good job. Thank you so much. And she worked very, very hard on this. And Elma has done these beautiful little things that you see in front of you. I don't really know how to give these away. Elma says we have 6 of them. We have 6.
They have little goodies inside.
They have little goodies inside. I want to give one to the lady that you brought with you, our special nominee, so would you take one for her? And I'd also like to give one to Mrs. Davis for being here. It's wonderful for you to come, and thank you for coming for Dr. Anderson. Now, anybody have any suggestions?
Just let it be for the one that it's in front of.
That's fine with me. That was very good. Thank you.
What about the students? Are you really going to say it?
Betty Ingo is the person that brought these beautiful flowers. Betty, you want to tell us about these flowers? They are absolutely gorgeous. They are gorgeous. That is so sweet for you to bring those showing with us. We do appreciate that. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I think it's so wonderful. And please give your prayers for them. Thank you.